25%, let's just call it 25. You're 25% closer to being famous than anybody else, throughout this whole process. And I'm like, that's nuts. And he tells me the next stage. The next stage is like you go, physical. You have to get that shit done.
Well, yeah, so after the first on-screen, at least the way mine was, you did the on-screen, and then you did your home video. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you sent your home video, and then you did semifinals. And you funded semifinals. They would give you, like, the closest city. Like, I had to drive to Charlotte. But I wasn't 21, so my grandma had to drive and get the hotel room because I couldn't get a hotel room.
Oh, wow.
And then I asked them, I was like, what's the process? And they're like, well, next couple of weeks, if you make finals, we'll give you a call. We'll fly you to L.A. Mm-hmm. If we don't call you, it's been nice knowing you.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh, cool.
Enjoy the rest of your life.
Yeah, I never got to that part. So the last thing that I knew was I was waiting on a call sometime. Didn't really know the whole process about auditioning. Like if you make it, then they call you and you know it, and that's awesome. If you don't,
nothing happens. Just nothing.
Fucking
just
nothing.
Move on.
Yeah. So that was like. So I remember I went back to Waterman's, and I had to get sat down and talked to by a manager, and she's like,
for not showing up.
For sure. Yeah. She's like, so like that. You kind of like put us in a really bad place, and I'm like, I know. I'm so sorry. She's like. Gets the whole thing, writes me up, and she's like, how was it? I was like,
respectively.
Yeah, I was like,
I had to do my job.
It was fucking,
it
was fucking sick. That was the first moment that I had of being near cameras and like that whole process, and it blew my fucking head up, dude, and it fucked me up that whole summer.
Yeah,
I have a buddy, his name's Brad, and Brad was not. If you're fucking listening, Brad was not a good person to be around that summer because Brad would use the fact that I had auditioned for the Real World that whole summer. I mean, like, I remember being, like, blacked out in lunacy, fucking, it was, like, my first summer working at the beach, too.
That was so you turned into that guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% that guy.
Oh, no.
100% that guy.
Yeah.
But, like, so... here I am trying to be like a little bit humble, but I'm I'm still excited and proud,
Right.
And then throughout my conversations and having it kind of pulled out of me, I turned into that guy.
And Brad being your fanning that fire for you, basically.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, like we're exactly the fucking guy. That could be like, so we're fucking sitting in lunacy and there's like a group of fucking bachelorettes that walk in, right? Brad's right, yeah, right. I'll never forget this shit. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and Brad's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, It's like, just go over and say what's up." I'm like, "Nah." He's like, "I got this," and just darts away, right? And he walks over to the group, and I'm like, I just kind of turn away from him, and I'm talking to Dan Halen at the time, and I'm just
I love that name.
Yeah, fucking ripping shots, and all of a sudden, like. I get bum rushed. You know what I mean? Like bam. She's like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" She's like, "So, your friend over there told us a little thing," and I'm like, kind of like, I'm like, "Oh yeah, what did he say?" Just trying to like, just kind of eat into it, a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm like, "Oh, what did he say?" She's like, "They said that you're gonna be like on the Real World." I'm like, no. I'm close. I auditioned for it. I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking cool as shit. And it was like that all summer long, and it was a very destructive summer for myself.
No joke.
I'm not lying to you. I was that fucking guy.
Oh, man.
But it broke me the fuck down, too. You know what I mean?
See, I never did that.
Yeah.
Even
that's
when
why
I got
you made
back.
it. That's probably why you made
it.
Like, oh, no. Oh.
Well,
no, before I made it, I created a fan page on Facebook.
Yeah.
My video was on YouTube.
How she walked into your bar, like, give me my shit, give me that drink. In my head, that's how I envisioned it. It's like you just walking in with the whole squad, and then just like snatching a drink out of somebody's hand and taking it.
I had these like ankle.
That's my drink.
Yeah.
Were you enjoying that, sir? I don't give a fuck.
Right, exactly. I will never forget, dude. I had like a purple Yankees fitted on, and then the matching purple button up.
I love it.
Of course.
With like black jeans and then like black boots. And the entourage that was with me, it was like 8 girls. So like I was just like, yeah, these are my friends. We had a party bus because it was a friend of mine's birthday. It was just like whatever. But I will tell you this:
It's that presence, though.
I very rarely was like, yeah, I was on The Real World.
Right.
Unless I got recognized, just because it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. Like, when I got home, I was like, holy crap. Well, our promos started airing before we finished filming.
Before you got back?
Yes. We were still filming in San Diego. Fuck. And so, like, those last couple of weeks, when they realized, like, the rumor went around San Diego that we were there. Obviously.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But, like, once it was, like, confirmed, there's the videos, there's the people, the cameras are there. Like, people would be, like, walking down there, fuck The Real World! And I'm like...
what?
I'm like...
I didn't even do anything. Why are you yelling at me?
But why?
I didn't do anything.
Because people like that guy right there.
Yeah.
Like Pryor over here, like, yeah, I auditioned.
It's so...
No, I'm just...
Yeah, I mean... I've never said fuck The Real World.
But the power of that is so... It's just so insane, though. It's like, you know... You know, you're on The Real World, you're on this, you know, big television show, you know what I mean, which gives you that notoriety and that, you know, now you're, you know, you have this infamous or famous kind of thing about you.
Right.
But just the fact that, you know, your friend Brad was using it, that you might be on the show. The crazy thing about, like, socially how we act as human beings is, like, going, like, oh, my God, I have to know this person. Or, you know what I mean? It's just, it's insane. But it's pretty neat that it can draw that much attention to you just so rapidly. You know?
Oh, yeah. Like... When I got home, I got home like September 8th or something. So we filmed for 3 months. We were there for a good amount of time. And I got home September 8th. I went to see a friend of mine that had gotten into a car accident while I was on the show. And then literally that third day that I was home, I went back to work. I worked at Jimmy John's. And I was like,
oh, wow.
Like, I'm good. Let me go back to work. Like, it was great. And then I worked at Jimmy John's for a while. I went to school in the spring. I went back to TCC in the spring. Like, I literally came back to my life. You know, Don't get me wrong. I definitely did, like, appearances and stuff like that. Like, they flew me all the way to, like, Ottawa, Canada, Chicago, L.A., San Francisco, New York City. Like, I got to travel a lot, and they paid for all of it. I got paid to be there, and I drank for free. So it was great.
That's awesome.
That's an absolute win.
Yeah.
Right. And I got to meet
wins.
a whole lot of cool people along the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
But when I got back from the challenge is kind of when things got a lot bigger because a lot of people watch The Real World, but a lot more people watch the challenge. So the challenge is it's basically the road rules in The Real World.
Yeah.
And now it's more like X on the Beach, all of these other, was it Geordie Shore? Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't watch MTV anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, MTV.
I was there. I slayed it. I'm out.
Right, yeah. Dude, I have an MTV Snuggie. It's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
I love it.
But like when I got back
game.
from the challenge, I got back, and my girlfriend at the time worked at B-Dubs. We didn't work at the same B-Dubs, but we have that B-Dubs blood in us.
B-Dubs.
B-Dubs.
I was the to-go bitch for 2 years.
For the length of it, I worked there almost 5 years.
Oh,
Like
wow.
that. So I got home end of July of 2012. And I was like, my girlfriend had a job. She was working doubles every day while I was gone because what's the point of being home when I'm not there? So she would just work all the time. So I got home. I would have to go hang out at B-Dubs to just see my girlfriend. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Why don't you just get a job here? Because, I mean, I didn't need the money at all. Not even close. But I was like, fuck it. You know, I need to get a job anyways because I don't want to go back to Jimmy John's. You want to make a little bit more money.
Right. Stay busy.
So when I was talking to the
Especially
manager,
what you were probably getting paid. You know, with The Real World, you're like, okay, now I've raised my standard of living a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was talking to the manager, and he's like, all right, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, honestly, I really kind of just want to work in the kitchen because I don't want people to figure out that I'm working here.
Oh, God.
Then fans come in, and then I get distracted from doing my job on paper.
Right.
Because the fans is one thing, but like I still have a job to do. I still have to take orders. I still have to put things like I still have my responsibilities.
Right.
So I was like, if I work in the kitchen, I can't come out. I'm never on the floor. Right, and I'm there. So I worked in the kitchen for like about a year and a half, 2 years. And then there was this position that came up, and it was called the guest experience captain.
Nice.
And basically, I walked around and did sauce samples and beer samples, and I changed TVs, and I talked to people. And I was like, dude, this is great.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's literally the job for me.
You just
so
you had the opportunity to just make people happy all the time.
exactly. And so like if fans came in, my job is to talk to you.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's perfect.
It's great. You know, and then after that is when I started bartending shortly after that. So 2013 is when I started bartending. I've been in in food industry and service industry since I was 16. So
yeah.
I
feel like that's like
that's this table right here.
Yeah.
We're lifers.
Yeah, it's good.
So would you say it was challenging to go back to your normal lifestyle, I guess, after, the whole real world and traveling and that whole limelight?
Not really necessarily for me, because I didn't do it to become famous. I didn't do it to use that as a stepping stone to launch X, Y, and Z.
Gotcha.
I did it literally for the experience. Right. I wanted to travel. I wanted to meet these people. I never went away to college.
Yeah.
So that was my first experience living with roommates without my parents and my sister next door.
God, what a first experience!
A lot of roommates, too.
Right?
Oh man,
it was literally like 4 years of college in 3 months of my life.
In 3 months,
it was insane.
It's 3 months, is that right?
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah, it was. Well, so 2011 was a cup year. It was a Women's World Cup year.
Okay.
And so there's no radio, there's no TV, there's no nothing in the house. So I would walk to Miller's Field, and I will never forget it. Right in PB. It's right across from Senor Pancho, the old Wiener Schnitzel. Yes, on Pacific, on Mission. And
God, I miss San Diego. Oh, that place.
Right.
Oh.
So I would walk to Mission to Miller's Field at 11 a.m. and I would stay at Miller's Field from 11 a.m. till 2 a.m. I would tip each bartender $150.
Oh, wow.
And even at shift change, the new bartender got $150.
You are a hero.
But I drank for free the whole time. Every time I walked in that building, I never had a bar tab.
Dang.
Because I would just rather pocket you $150 each time, and you guys, they fed me lunch, dinner, and snacks at the end of the night. Like, they kept me fed. They kept me standing on my feet. If I started drinking too much, their bouncers would be like, top that shit up.
Yeah, take care of her.
But for the 3 weeks that the cup was on, and I would literally go to the bar. I'd come home, hammered, wake up, hammered, go back, still drink. And for like 2 weeks solid, I was just in like a really long, just
perpetually drunk.
This is on the show.
Yes, well, it doesn't actually. But literally, production was kind of like, after the cup was over, because we lost that year.
Yeah.
After the cup was over, they kind of like grabbed me and they took me like around the side of the house and they were like, "Hey, the cup's over. I know this show's about like drinking and partying and nonsense, but just pump the brakes.
Sam, land your plane."
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. But that was about the only time the production, like, on my end, ever intervened into anything. But I mean, for health reasons.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, right,
sure.
Yeah.
But it's the Women's World Cup. What are you supposed to do? Eat pecan sandies?
That's nuts. So with that, as far as like the influence goes, like we were talking about the productions and stuff like that. I remember having a conversation with people before about like the real world and the amount of drinking that happens on that show. So, the production crew is not specifically, promoting any kind of, crazy interactions, but the fact that there's so much drinking on there, I think that really draws out a lot of, human traits that
even when you're here and you're at home.
Yeah.
If you guys talked about it on one of your other episodes. When you're bored and it's an off day, what do?
Just get drunk.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no TV, no cell phone,
no
social media, no radio.
Not paying for shit.
No music.
that's
The only time we got headphones was in the gym. I don't go to the gym.
Oh, on the show you have no contact with the outside world.
No,
situation.
we have an email.
Wow.
And wild. We have the one phone. We had cell phones, but we called them locating devices. Because,
tracking devices.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because production would ping it, and it would be like a text message would come through. The parent holder of this contract has pinged your location, and it was way they could come. Because if I was out with people that there was no story there, they would just let me go by myself.
Right.
But they'd show up halfway through the night, and I'd be there, and no magic, here we are.
Oh, no way.
This,
So they just show up with the cameras and then the
big brother's watching.
That's so wild. It's like
you look over your shoulder, there's a fucking camera crew.
No. The Dodge minivan skirts up, tires screeching, and they're just all pile out. There's 6 of them in there with these huge cameras. Because
that was back then.
Yeah, in 2011, even back then, it wasn't a tape, it was a DVD that they would
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Record on. Instead of now, I mean, the cameras are only, 1.5 feet long, and you have a terabyte hard